Wedding planning should feel personal, not automated. Simply Eloped keeps it human, crafting over 14,000 one-of-a-kind ceremonies across 37 incredible U.S. locations. They handle the vendors, permits, timelines, all of it. You get your marriage license, they take on the chaos. Create your kind of wedding at simplyeloped.com. Do you still have family in town and need a quick itinerary to show them around the city? Send this episode to them. We've got the best spots to take family when they're in the city and some places they can stay that aren't your house. It's Monday, December 29th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's a quick visitor's guide to Philly. Okay, can I be honest? Ever since I got this job as host of CityCast Philly, my friends will suggest people reach out to me when they visit Philly. And they're like, oh, just ask Trenae, like, where to go. She knows everything about everything in this city. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's insane. I don't know everything about everything. I know a few things, but just listen to the podcast.
Right.
We're collecting all of our thoughts here. So now we can just send people this way. But you do have good recs, so I do get it. I get why people bug you.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for saying that. And do you want to say hi to everyone? This is Abby Fritz, y'all, producer of CityCast Philly.
Hey, guys.
And also joining us is Matt Katz, executive producer of the show.
What's up, everybody?
And also joining us is Siani Colón, who writes our Hey Philly newsletter. Hey, Siani.
Hey.
All right, we're going to break down some of our deep cuts and our tourist traps that might be good for anyone who's visiting Philly. Let's start with visitors who stay for the night. And they ask, what neighborhood should I stay in? What do you say?
You know, I think there's a lot of great neighborhoods that you could stay in Philly, but one I like to suggest that I think is kind of a fun, maybe not the first thought that you think of when you're suggesting something like this is South Street. You can get hotels or Airbnbs there. It's a very walkable area, and there's tons of like restaurants, entertainment, and shopping all within like this one street. And I think, too, it's also not far from Old City. So if you want to go up and do the whole Liberty Bell, all of that stuff, that's all kind of in this area. And I'd even say if you want to drop a little cash, I've always wanted to stay at Yowie, that boutique hotel on South Street. Me and Matt, we went the other day to the coffee shop that's at the bottom level. Great breakfast sandwiches. Yep. And I was reading about it. The hotel itself, which is above the cafe and the little shop that's below, it is gorgeous. All of the rooms are individually designed, so each of them are unique by the founder, Shannon Maldonado, and they feature local artwork and different like items and knickknacks in the rooms that you can literally buy downstairs at the shop. And also in 2024, it was named one of Travel + Leisure's 100 best new hotels in the world. So it would be cool to just go there for the experience as well, on top of this neighborhood that boasts like a lot of amazing things to do.
I'm putting my PTO in as we speak for that staycation there.
Yeah, that sounds luxurious, actually. Also, like, I would say to our visitor, check out our South Street series.
Yes.
And you can learn more about the neighborhood that you're staying in.
How about you, Trenae? Where do you suggest to people that they stay?
I mean, Abby, what you said, South Street, I mean, that is such a smart response to that question. I would actually suggest staying in Market East. Now, hear me out. I feel like the person who is asking these particular questions, they are that friend of a friend, like visiting Philly for a conference, right? Mm-hmm. And like Market East has so many like chain hotels that people are familiar with. Also, there's Airbnbs that are close to bars and restaurants down there. But I feel like a lot of out-of-towners are going to be in search of a good cheesesteak or something close to a good cheesesteak. So instead of them traveling to Angelo's on 9th Street in Bella Vista and waiting in that long line, since you're already downtown, you're already in that Market East vibe, you're at the convention center for your conference, just walk over to Reading Terminal Market,
Yes.
right? Go to Uncle Gus. That's where you get the cheesesteak. Go to Beeler's Donuts. That's where you're going to get your sweets from. And if you want a smoothie, just turn your back. Right between Uncle Gus, there is a smoothie shop. And so if you want to be healthy, and then I would say sit down for a brunch on Sunday right before you head out at Down Home Diner. Great
Nice.
breakfast spot.
So great recommendations. Also, gotta mention Tommy Dinick's roast pork at Reading Terminal Market. That's my go-to.
Oh, cool. Now, since you're in Market East, like, let's say you come into Philly like on that Thursday, Friday afternoon time, and you kind of are craving some pizza, go to Philly Steak and Pizzeria. It's this very small shop on 1027 Filbert Street. It's quick. The pizza comes hot. They serve that like New York style thin crust type of pizza. And of course, stay at Market East because Chinatown is right there. You can go on
Yes.
Saturday morning. You can wake up, go take a selfie at the Friendship Arch on 10th and Arch Streets. You can go get coffee and a sweet treat at Matcha Panda Cafe on 9th or go to A La Mousse on 11th.
Oh, man, I love those recs. I also think Market East is the perfect central location when you are coming into town and you're looking for where to stay because you can walk to so many neighborhoods from there. Chinatown, Rittenhouse, Gayborhood. My itinerary for people who have a free day in town, maybe they're, like you said, Trenae, here for a convention or something, is to head down from the convention center down 13th Street, maybe grab lunch at Barbuzzo, wonderful little Italian spot, and check out some of our local Philly-oriented shops down there like Shibe Sports. Go get a beer down at Dirty Frank's, iconic Philadelphia dive bar. There's no sign on the door, but you will see murals of famous Frank's outside. That's how you know you're there.
And actually, also in Gayborhood, I would recommend going to Prunella for a pepperoni pizza.
Soak up all that booze with the pepperoni. Is it delicious?
After you just went down to watch some live jazz at Time.
Oh, okay.
Right around the corner.
Now, this is a bit of a long walk, but this is if you want to like hit a lot of places and get your steps on. So you go down onto South Street, check out the Magic Gardens, Isaiah Zagar's magical experience of all of his mosaics in an abandoned lot. And then you go south down 9th Street to the Italian Market. And that is unlike anywhere else in the world. So you have to go to the Italian Market. You stop in Claudio's to smell that cheese and De Bruno Brothers for some Italian treats. Paisano's has my favorite hoagies in the city. And hopefully, if it's wintertime, you'll see the produce guys burning cardboard in the garbage cans, just like in Rocky. So you want to experience that. And there's also some of the city's best Mexican food down there. Get some fresh tortilla chips at Tortilleria San Roman, South Philly Barbacoa for that slow-cooked barbacoa. And then, my suggestion, end your adventure. You go to happy hour at Grace and Proper, which is this gorgeous Portuguese-style bar over on 8th Street, just one block over from the Italian Market.
Oh, and don't forget Anthony's Coffee and Chocolate House.
Oh, right.
They have great chocolate covered pretzels. When we went, I go back all the time for those after trying them that first time.
And listen, trust us. We have been to these places. We have talked to the business owners. We've
Right.
spent our money here. We know.
Another place I spent my money in the Italian Market, Villa di Roma. I absolutely loved it. Phenomenal Italian food, amazing staff. So while you're in the Italian Market, highly recommend eating there as well. And I think like a common theme about like the neighborhoods that we mentioned so far is the walkability, which is also why I would recommend staying in Fishtown. It's in a good spot because you're in proximity to the Market Frankfurt line and the Route 15/G, which you can take that down Girard Ave all the way through Brewery Town and then taking you to the Philadelphia Zoo. So like more tourist attractions you can check out. And you're in walkable distance from neighborhoods like Northern Liberty, Kensington, Port Richmond, and not that far from Center City. There are quite a bit of Airbnb listings in the area, but Abby, you mentioned boutique hotels. I would recommend staying at Anna and Bell. Absolutely gorgeous boutique hotel in the neighborhood. I've gone there for drinks in their downstairs bar, Caleta, before for their aperitivo hour, and the vibes there were immaculate. And then we came back outside and it was like back to reality of like, oh, we're just in this residential neighborhood.
We're in Fishtown.
It's like we went through a portal for a second there. But even then, like, it's really cute, just walking around and then, passing all the other businesses as you continue up. So you can stop at Chula Pasta and Wine Bar. I've ate there before, actually right after going to Caleta, and we had the gnocchi. And then you continue to go closer to Frankfurt Ave, and there are like way more restaurants and shops like Soraya and Kalaya, or along Girard Avenue, Gilda's Cafe. Then when it comes to live entertainment, you have the Fillmore, so kind of for like those larger concerts happening. Black Squirrel Club is great for live jazz and Brazilian samba, if you want to go dancing. Punchline Philly for comedy, and Fabrica for a lot of things. I went there once for a drag queen wrestling brunch.
What? That's so cool.
I didn't know all those words could be put together.
So plenty of entertainment there.
Fishtown is such a hot spot for food and entertainment. And I feel like places just keep opening up. Something that opened up last year that I'd recommend is the cheese vending machine at Perrystead Dairy, which is in Kensington too. It's an urban creamery, which is very cool. They make cheese there. And they have a really nice little garden area with herbs, rosemary, all this stuff growing. You can walk up to the front. There's a 24-hour vending machine where you can literally get everything you need to make a little charcuterie board. So cheese, a knife to cut it, crackers, cured meats, anything you want. So that's a good stop if you just need a snack before, head over to Fabrica to see people fly from the ceiling or whatever they're doing.
Wow. Doesn't Philly sound so magical? We've got more Rex after the break.
So a question I always get from my family when they come to visit is, should you rent a car? What do you guys think?
No.
No. I mean, you got to find parking.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And then, no, you know what? Let them park. Let them experience what we experience. Getting a freaking... Our heart is palpitating out of our chest when we're running to see if there's a ticket on the windshield. No, I'm just kidding. But no, don't. You don't need a car.
Yeah, that's what I always say too. Also, when I've been driving friends and family around when they've come to visit, and I've watched someone literally on a bike do a wheelie through a red light, and they were just like, "Oh, what's going on?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. That's just how we drive. It's okay. Everything's okay." So I don't think people want to learn how to drive in Philly on top of having a rental car, parking, trying to get around.
I was gonna say, there's so many modes of transportation in Philly: car, bike, walk, SEPTA, or even a horse. You will see horses galloping on Broad Street sometimes. So don't be alarmed. That's just how we roll.
Yeah, that's how we gallop.
Listen, I'm going to need everybody, including our guests, to fund SEPTA, which is why I say take the bus. Do not be afraid of the bus. You can cover a good amount of ground by taking public transit, and depending which neighborhood you're staying in, you can walk through several of them in a short amount of time. And if you're taking SEPTA, fares right now are $2.90 for the bus and the trains. So depending how long you're staying, if you want to get a day pass, that's $7.50, while a 3-day pass is $19. And then if you're trying to hit up the historic and cultural sites and those main downtown areas, there's also Philly Flash, and that's a special shuttle that loops you through Center City and West Fairmount Park. So those are options if you want to ride around. But I just think you learn how to better navigate a city and stumble upon interesting businesses by just walking around.
Well, and on the buses now you can tap to pay. So like that also makes it so much easier for people visiting the city. Like you don't have to get like a SEPTA card that's like refillable for fare. You can just decide, be like, oh, we're going to get on the 17 or whatever right now. So that makes it a bit easier too for people visiting.
One last option, you could always get a bike. Indigo bikes are all over the city. You can get a 24-hour pass for $15. Cruise down Kelly Drive, see our iconic Boathouse Row, and be able to go from like Rittenhouse Square to Old City in 20 minutes.
All right, let's pull out a little bit. How about getting to Philly?
So being a major city, like you do have a mix of options when it comes to traveling in. If you're coming from further out, like across the country or outside the country, flying into Philadelphia International Airport makes the most sense. But once you're at the airport, it can definitely get overstimulating with all the taxis and waiting with 50 million people for a rideshare. So I highly recommend taking the Regional Rail's airport line to get into the city. It's much more cost effective. It's a smooth ride that takes you directly in, and you can see more of the city's landscape beyond just like the view from the highway.
That's a great rec. I also just prefer rail options. If you can take Amtrak, I would 1,000% do it, especially if you're coming from like the tri-state area. There's great deals on tickets if you buy far enough in advance. I love the quiet car where no one can talk to you and you just like keep your headphones on and everybody's silent. That's great. And also like you come into 30th Street Station, which is pretty easily accessible by like public transit. You can hop on the L. There's bus lines that come through so you can like go wherever you need to go. If you're going to a convention, if you're visiting friends, you can probably get where you need to go. Or you can just like stay in University City. I picked up someone from the train station the other day and then I took them to the ICA, which is the Institute of Contemporary Art. It's always free admission, really cool installations, like modern contemporary art. And right around the corner is Franklin's Table Food Hall, which is like that food hall on Penn's campus. And they have a ton of different food vendor options. So I love Amtrak. I always recommend that if you can.
If you're in University City, I would say go to Louie Louie for a nice... You guys don't know about Louie Louie?
I don't know about Louie Louie.
Oh, I know Louie Louie. I love their Bloody Marys.
I love their espresso martinis.
Ooh, nice. And if you're still in University City, take a walk down Locust Walk. That's the center of Penn's campus, and Penn's campus is just a beautiful, classic Ivy League style institution, and you can see at one end of Locust Walk is a great statue of Ben Franklin. So let's take a selfie with our most favorite founding father.
Speaking of Penn's campus, on 34th and Walnut Street, there's this beautiful sculpture called Brick House. And it was created by this artist, Simone Lee. Yeah, so I would like recommend people also try the other side of University City and going into more of the diverse communities. There's an international food and spices market off of 42nd and Walnut. And if you go down maybe like another block or so, check out the Middle Eastern restaurant, Manakish.
Yeah, Manakish is so good. And right across the street is Jezebel's, which is an Argentinian restaurant and cafe. I'll get like an empanada and coffee. And then Abyssinia is down the block too for, events and a bar, an Ethiopian restaurant as well. There's a lot to do around here.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend checking out these neighborhoods like Instagram pages, because you also find if there's like farmers markets happening, because they're usually near like parks and things like that. So yeah, lots to do in Philly neighborhoods. We'll get into some more recs for visiting Philly after the break. We kind of just touched on some other Philly food that does not consist of bread, meat, and cheese. And I'm talking about a cheesesteak here. We've got plenty of other great options. But guys, what time of year should people visit Philly? I love to recommend people come to Philly during the summer. And I think of my Uncle Steve, who loves live music. And the city has this weekly R&B music series down over at the Dell Music Center in Strawberry Mansion. But then also we have the traveling beer garden known as Parks on Tap, which would literally take you to several different neighborhoods in the city. And I think that's just a perfect way also to introduce our visitors to our park system and also check out a neighborhood that's not like, the Market East, the downtown, the neighborhood. Like, expand your horizons. And then I guess by default too, since my birthday is in fall, I love the fall time in Philly. And you gotta check out Halloween nights at Eastern State Penitentiary in Fairmount.
I do think the fall is the time to come to Philly. The weather is the best of all year round. The summer gets a little too sticky for me. And there's many, many more outdoor festivals. Street life is just booming in the fall months. And it's also our best sports month, generally speaking. I mean, you can catch a Phillies game or an Eagles game. So
And
I
everyone's
say,
an Eagles fan nowadays.
That's right. You just when you come here, just say "Go Birds" to everybody. If you feel like you're out of place, it'll make you a local immediately. Do you guys have other season suggestions when people should visit us?
Yeah, I definitely love the summertime for sure because there's always so much happening because of the major holidays like the 4th of July. Philly goes all out and with special deals to museums. You have all the street festivals, pop-ups, but it can get overwhelming for sure. So if you're avoiding crowds, I would say springtime is good because we've come off the holiday high, with all the Christmas villages and activities, and we haven't hit the summer rush yet. So that kind of gives you the opportunity to calmly check out these sites. But there's still like larger events like the Cherry Blossom Festival at the Shifuso Japanese Cultural Center in Fairmount Park. So you still have larger events to look forward to, but not the same like 4th of July crowd.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a specific season because I do feel like we have strengths and weaknesses in every season, like every city. But I always tell my friends, if you can plan to come on a first Friday, which in Philly, a ton of galleries and museums have like opening receptions for new exhibitions and like special events or discounted admission, I'd say do that if you can. And it happens. There's events throughout the city, but really a big concentration in Old City. We did a whole episode about that. We have a guide of how to plan the best First Friday itinerary. So check that out if you're interested in making that your time to come to Philly.
All right. It's come down to the tourist traps. And what we mean by tourist traps is the things that maybe a local Philadelphian will roll their eye at or be like, nah, I ain't going to that. But these are the essential, typical Philly things that I feel like everyone should do in Philadelphia, some way, somehow, some shape, some form.
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, obviously our murals. Like we're called the mural capital of the world all the time. We're named the best city for street art in the US by USA Today in 2025. So this is something that everybody talks about and can literally see when you come to Philly. And I actually haven't done this, but I think a great quote unquote tourist trap is doing a mural tour. Mural Arts is an organization who's responsible for helping create and maintain a lot of the murals in the city. And they put on a ton of different types of tours. You can go on their website and check it out and find one that, has a theme that interests you or works for you. There's walking tours, but then there's also trolley tours if you want something that's ADA friendly or, to bring grandma on with you. Check it out at muralarts.org/tours.
I would say hit up Independence Mall, right? You've got like all these museums, the African American Museum, the Jewish Museum, the National Constitution Center, which is like one of my favorite museums actually because they have the constitutions of other nations. And I like to read that. I don't know. I'm weird like that. Anyway, there's Carpenter's Hall, which we did an entire episode about. You've got the Liberty Bell and also the President's House, whatever iteration that is now.
Some changes by the Trump administration, but it's still where George Washington lived and where 9 enslaved people also lived. You can learn a lot by stopping there. I mean, we have so many museums. So you can't do them all. But from an art perspective, obviously you can run up the Rocky Steps and
Classic.
visit the Philadelphia Art Museum. It's a world-class art museum, so you probably want to check that out. But don't sleep on the Rodin Museum down the block, which is outdoors, absolutely gorgeous. And I think, though, Barnes Foundation, which is also in that same neighborhood over there, that's a really special experience. I mean, but get tickets for that in advance. In that same area, we have Calder Gardens, which has just opened up. It's a outdoor underground space to view the works of Philadelphia's own Alexander Calder, the inventor of the mobile and a world-renowned sculptor.
There's a lot to see on the ground, but what about from above? Because although
Nice transition.
I'll be honest, I am terrified of heights. Last time I was on a Ferris wheel, it did not end well. However, when I go to a new city, I do love seeing it from above. When I was in Detroit, I rode the People's Mover like several times because I wanted to get the full scope of the city. But you can do that much more easily in Philly by just going in the observation deck at City Hall and get the full view through William Penn's point of view. And then while you're at City Hall, you can also check out local artwork that decorates his halls as well.
So those are spots that like tourists might know in advance. You guys have secret spots that we can share with our listeners?
Yeah, I love reminding people when they come to Philly that it's very green here. We do have a good amount of green spaces for a major city. And so one fun little unique spot that I want to take my mom next time she comes to visit, so don't tell her, but she loves getting outside and doing little like walks and hikes. So I'm going to take her out to the Wissahickon, which is a major park here in Philly, and we're going to go to the Valley Green Inn, which is this cute old building right off of Forbidden Drive in the Wissahickon. So it's literally like in the trails. So you're walking around, people are jogging, people are biking, and there's this cute little inn. I think it's like a big wedding venue. A lot of people get like married there because it's so gorgeous.
My friends Amanda and Justin got married there.
Yeah, see, there you go. So you know it's pretty.
Yeah, so pretty.
And they also do food. So there's Sunday brunch. I've stopped and like gotten soup before, just, to a little refresher while I'm on a hike. They've got a cheese plate, lobster bisque, filet mignon egg rolls. I think it'd be fun, to check out some green spots and eat a little food. Also, Trenae, I sent you out this way. There's a small coffee and bike shop called Paper Trail Bike Cafe. If you don't want a whole meal, you can stop. It's off of the Orange Trail and get a coffee and take in the scenery while you're sipping on it.
And I found out the hard way, there is no Wi-Fi there. So just keep that in mind. But it was so peaceful. And that got me to think of some peaceful outdoor spots that are kind of off the beaten path. Check out Pretzel Park in Manioc. Yes, there is a statue of a pretzel. It's not like the pretzels that you might see in a Wawa in Philly, or really like the classic Philly style pretzel, which is kind of a shape of a link. This is like a traditional pretzel. So this space, it's a park. It offers green space, activities like farmers markets, a place for the kids to play. I believe there's a designated dog area, and Parks on Tap, the traveling beer garden, sometimes sets up here. But my favorite secret spot is Washington Square Park. So if you are staying in that old city area, if you had just left the American Revolution Museum or Carpenter's Hall or the Liberty Bell, walk over to 6th and Walnut Streets. Washington Square Park is like Rittenhouse Square, which you will see if you walk further down Walnut, but it's less crowded, more peaceful, beautiful trees, and my secret spot.
Lots of history there, too. It's a very cool spot.
Absolutely. And Tallulah's Garden, Fat Salmon, and Need Bagels are all in that area if you get hungry.
I also love Cafe Walnut there. But if you want a bit of history mixed with scenery, visit one of Philly's historic homes. Philly is old, very old, and we're lucky to have these homes still in existence to really be able to visit. There's quite a bit in Society Hill and Fairmount Park, but there are really beautiful ones in the edges of the city that I feel like don't get as much shine. The Wick House in Germantown is home to the oldest rose garden in the country. They also have a farm. The Young Friends of Wick also regularly host events there. So if some of them are happening while you're in town, stop by and visit some of the other art galleries that are in the Germantown area. The Glenford Mansion in Torresdale in Northeast Philadelphia, that overlooks the Delaware River, and you can tour its art gallery. They regularly host different art workshops there, and you can go boating on the Delaware River on its grounds.
Oh, wow. I've got a more unusual visit to a historic home. You will be visiting a historic Philly home that is a sort of representation of the money that has passed through this town over the centuries. But to get to this house, you're not actually like paying admission and acting as a tourist. You're acting as a shopper. Okay, so if you're in Rittenhouse Square and you're going down Walnut Street doing some shopping, Walnut Street is our high-end shopping corridor. While you're there, head over to 18th Street and go to Anthropology, which is in this, you can see from the outside, it's in this beautiful old building. Used to be a mansion. It was actually owned by this guy, Alexander Van Rensselaer, who was a financier and a philanthropist. And it's really representative of the money that was on Rittenhouse Square and these old, beautiful mansions that surrounded the park there. There's still some left, including this one. This one is in Anthropology now. But if you go into the Anthropology and you make a right and you go through 2 rooms and you're in, I believe it's like the women's dress section, and you look up, unbelievable ceiling. The entire ceiling is filled with portraits of Italian princes, and all of the portraits are in 3-dimensional gold frames. So the ceiling is just covered with frames of old Italian people. It is wild. It's like something out of Versailles, and you're just in the middle of a store. It's really incredible.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that, and I've been like into that Anthropology a couple times.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. And I mean, I think it gets to the point in Philly, always look up, because you're going to see a frieze on a building. You're going to see a mural that you didn't know was there. And if you're in the store, you should look up, because you're going to see some crazy portraits on the ceiling.
I'm so glad you mentioned shopping. I always get questions from friends about vintage and thrifting in Philly. So I would say go to Fabric Row if you're looking for like more of that kind of resale option. More Vintage Archive is bonkers. It's like vintage designer clothes. I would be so lucky, hopefully, in my life to own something from there. It's like an incredible collection. And I go all the time just to look at like all the archival fashion pieces they have. But then also there's Sweet Peel Vintage on Fabric Row, which is like very affordable vintage thrift. And they have really cute displays like a giant moon and like a mirrored private room with all the, sexy offerings. So that's really fun. And then At My House is also it's called At My House, not My House. Is also
our secret spot in Philly for tourists to go to is Abby's house.
Is my house. No, don't come to my house. I will not answer. But At My House is a really affordable thrift option, and it's cool because they have a ton of different thrift vendors in there. So there's like a wide variety of options. And then I can't talk about Fabric Row without mentioning Ace Coffee Outposts. We've talked about it on the pod before. We love it. It's a coffee shop and a vintage store. It's a little more pricey, but a very fun collection. So if you're into vintage, if you're into resale, go to Fabric Row on 4th Street off of South. So we've had a ton of suggestions, but before we let you guys go, what are some do's and don'ts of visiting Philly? We've got to make sure everybody's acting right when they come to visit.
Please, please, please. I know we just said to look up, but if you're checking something out or need time to think, pull over or at least keep a good walking pace. Like, you may be on vacation, but everyone else, we live here and are trying to get to places in a timely manner. So just be aware of your surroundings. And while you're out, if you're going to order a cheesesteak, just call it a cheesesteak. You don't have to tack on Philly into it. You're already here.
That's great advice.
Matt brought up that his favorite time of year in Philly is the fall season when it's like Phillies and Eagles. And I don't know, I would just be really cautious if you came in this city with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, a 49ers jersey, a Raiders, anything other than green, and not even the Jets. Like, just like walk at your own risk. I don't know what to tell you, because this is an Eagles nation, and we are united.
I would say, and otherwise, just smile and say hi to people. We're nice. We're very nice.
Are we nice or are we kind?
Oh, interesting.
Because if you piss us off, if you put your car in a bike lane, right? If you do certain things to piss off a Philadelphian, we're really not nice about it. But we'll look out for you, like, you know, because then we're kind like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if most of the time, if you're like a little bit lost, like if you need sense of direction, I feel like people are willing to help you out and put you onto things and get you where you need to go.
Matt, Abby, Siani, thank you so much for breaking down all these recs for the friend of a friend that's coming to Philly.
Hope our visitors enjoy our city as much as we do.
I'll definitely be sending this to a couple people.
Have fun, guys.
That's all for us today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode about the deep cut tourist recommendations, share this episode with someone who's planning to visit Philly. Also, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. And don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Philly neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.